Yeah, this is a huge part of my process actually, and it's a little hard to talk about. It's like I'm always trying to get underneath a thing. Um, and then directionality is weird. So maybe it's not underneath it. Maybe it's like I was saying before with the energy signatures. If I can feel a distinct energy signature, I can usually be separate from it rather than lost in it. I don't like being lost in some of my stuff and like just like endlessly looping on just the tip of the iceberg, and then there's still the whole rest of the iceberg. So I've like developed more savviness around realizing whether there is enough momentum, like enough of a way in with that part of my body that I will actually be able to like see the iceberg or like be able to work with a really big chunk of it or something. And I don't have that sense with those tissues in my back or my spine. But then, it's something where like it's still good for me to do just not back bends, not full back bends, but just getting a little bit more extension in my spine here and there. And just like, just gradually work at that a little bit and not push it at all, but just start to open things up there. And then as the momentum comes towards that area through its own intelligent timing that I don't have a window into, there'll be these little bits of help that I've given it along the way that will bear fruit. But was there something else I wanted to say about that iceberg thing? That's actually like a really juicy piece of it for me that I've never tried to put into words before. Um, what else do I want to say about that? Oh, I just think that this is a way that like I and others can get totally fucking lost. Like, not lost, but just loop on shit for a long time that it doesn't need to be that much work. It doesn't need to be that much time and energy. It's like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience with like a therapist or a practitioner of any kind. I've had this experience a number of times where we're like kind of hashing something out in an emotionally aware, embodied way. We're working with like some anger or fear or something. And then the practitioner just does some kind of brilliant move where they just, using their own awareness and their own presence and their own sort of hard won experience, they sense into there's a deeper thing here that is more important and it's where we should be. And they sort of hold my hand and take me to this other vantage point in my experience where I can now see that thing that I would have just done a whole hour session working on that thing and talking about it and feeling into it. And then they're just like, nope, there's this deeper thing. Can you come down here with me? Okay, see that thing now? That thing's irrelevant now. Now we're at this thing. This is the thing that thing was protecting. Now we're working with this thing. That thing doesn't need to be there anymore. And it will just like slide off. And then I think to myself, like, holy shit, how much time could I have wasted just doing that thing? And like, wasted is a strong word, this is all just like a process and a figuring out and stuff, but it's a really important value of mine in this exploration and work that I'm doing to be efficient. Yeah, I have 4 values that I have sussed out in what I want to be sharing in my energy work and body work, and then in my teaching of what I'm doing is I want it to be effective. I want it to really work. I want it to be efficient. I want it to work efficiently so that we can just do shit fast and we're not wasting people's time and money. I want it to be lasting. I don't want the changes to just evaporate. I want this work to be meaningful and lasting and improve people's lives. And I want it to be beautiful. I don't want it to be totally result driven or process driven or a slog to get through. I want it to be something that I feel really connected to and passionate about and erosy. So yeah, efficiency is really important to me. So it's this thing that I'm always dancing with of like, part of it is finding ways to like give my system momentum, and that's when it will really run the show, is if it has some good momentum. Like when I did that Reiki the other day, that Reiki energy that got channeled in the session stayed with me for the rest of the day. And it just was figuring stuff out, you know? I wasn't having to direct it, tell it what part of my body to work with. It's just, and I was working with it, you know? I was very aware of where it was and what it was doing, and I was helping and collaborating with it, but it, you know, it knew what it was doing and it didn't need input or direction. So and I think that's available for me. Oh, like it doesn't have to be channeled Reiki energy. I can just find ways, whether it's eating well, whether it's spending time at the ocean, whether it's practicing doing yoga and standing meditation, things that are like chi balancing or chi activating really get momentum going for me in those kinds of ways. So it's a dance of getting momentum going and then also being wise about where I direct my awareness and attention and how I'm working with the spot, so that um I'm getting underneath stuff. I'm getting fuller pictures of what's happening there. When I move it, it really moves. It doesn't just come back later. Yeah.